chance, Like, we're 5th in the wild card race. I was dead wrong about them. I was also dead wrong about the Lakers. Their supporting cast. I was right about the Lakers in general. The Lakers... I knew they wouldn't win without AD. I was right about that, but before the season, I thought they won free agency. I thought the signings they made were perfect. They signed Dennis Schroeder, who at the time was one of the best role players in the league, maybe even the best. Montrezl Harrell, the 6th man of the year. Marc Gasol, who I've always thought was a good veteran to have. Wesley Matthews, a great shooter. These guys did not play well at all. Schroeder had a negative 20 plus minus. 0 points and 0 for 9 from the field in Game 5. Marc Gasol had a career low 5.2 points a game, and he scored 0 points in Game 6. Montrezl Harrell did not play in Games 2 and 3. He only averaged 9.8 minutes in the series and only 5.8 points. Wesley Matthews, the guy who I thought would be a good shooter, 30% from the field. Negative 36, which is the worst plus minus by any player in the playoffs. I mean, this supporting cast flopped. I thought they'd be great. And I didn't care what anyone said. Oh, LeBron needs so much help. Who cares? I mean, I've said all stars need help. Do you think Jordan and Pippen were the only 2 guys on the team? You think it was Jordan and Pippen and then a bunch of scrubs? There were some good guys there. Kukic was a great role player. They had some good pieces around Pippen and Jordan. It takes that. It takes an entire team to win. And yes, this team was pretty stacked before the season, but they proved that on going through the season that they were not as good a supporting cast as we thought they were. And finally, I was dead wrong about my first round predictions. Let's see how I did here. Hold on. I'm just going to check it real quick. Okay, I was right about the Sixers. They won in 5. Right about the Nets. They won in 5. I actually predicted that. I predicted that on the dot. I said Nets in 5. Bucks. Okay, I'm going to say I got this half right. Because I was right. I said the Bucks would win. But I didn't think they would win in that fashion. I thought the Heat would be a lot better. But... so right now I'm 2.5 for 3. I was wrong about the Knicks. I thought the Knicks were... I thought the Knicks were gonna... I thought their defense was gonna be great. I thought they locked down Trae Young. I was dead wrong about that. And I thought their offense would eventually, like Derrick Rose, they would eventually pop. But it didn't happen. So I was dead wrong about that. That's 2.5 out of 4. Okay, I was right about the Jazz, 3.5 out of 5. Wrong about the Suns and Lakers. What is that now? What am I at now? 3.5 for 5. 3.5 for 6 right now. And then I was right about the Nuggets. I said they went in like 6. So now I'm 4.5 for 7. And then I was wrong about the Clippers. Actually, I was suddenly right. Alright, I was 5 for 8. But I did not do well in my first round predictions this year. Alright. So there it is. Where did I go wrong? Got plenty of that, obviously. And speaking of... what I was just talking about. I was wrong about the Clippers. Dead wrong. I thought they'd lose in like 5 or 6, maybe. I mean, I probably said 6, I believe. Like, once they were down 2-0. But, now, here's what I'm thinking. Now that I was definitely wrong about it. And you can't say I didn't admit it. You can't say I flip-flopped, because I just admitted it. I was wrong. Alright? But, here's what I think happens now. I think one of two things happens. They either squeak by the Jazz or just lose straight up to them. And if they beat the Jazz, they lose to the Suns or Nuggets in the playoffs. And the Western Conference Finals. Because I think this clutch thing has to catch up to them. They can't just run this playoffs without any, clutch gene. But right now, Kawhi is the best remaining player in the playoffs. Him and KD, best remaining players in the playoffs. And they got breaks, the Clippers. They got a big break. And every champion in the last couple of years has had this. Let's walk back a bit. The Lakers last year, they had the Clippers. The Clippers lost. They blew a 3-1 lead to the Nuggets. That was lucky. Because the Clippers were a lot more experienced than the Nuggets. So it was easier to beat the Nuggets than it was the Clippers in the Western Conference Finals. So, I mean, that was a break for the Lakers. 2019, the Raptors, they got a break. They went against they got a break by going against an injury-riddled Warriors team. 2018, the Warriors got a break by going up against the Cavs, who had LeBron and no one else. 2017, the Warriors didn't even get breaks. They were just stacked. 2016, Draymond suspension. That was a lot bigger than people give it credit for. 2015, Warriors, Kyrie gets injured. Kevin Love gets injured. Everyone gets breaks to win the championship. And right now, the Lakers fell apart this year. So that's a big break for the Clippers. So we'll see what they do with that. I said this, I think, a couple days ago. What the Clippers have always never been able to do was, take advantage of opportunities. They gotta take advantage of this. Alright, let's get some music going. Okay, it might take a bit. Come on. Got it. Alright, so the Titans acquire Julio Jones. And the Titans, like I said, could very well not be better than the Colts. They only have a better running back and a better receiver. And we don't know what Carson Wentz is going to look like with the Colts. So, I don't know. Are they even better than the Colts right now? With this Julio Jones trade? It's big. It makes them a lot better. But I don't know. Does it make them... I don't think it can be so with the Chiefs. I really don't. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. Alright. So, Mark Murphy said that the Aaron Rodgers situation has divided the fan base, and it has. I mean, look what these other organizations do to keep their quarterbacks. Like, I think both parties are at fault here. Aaron Rodgers, people are right. He doesn't he doesn't have to, they don't have to tell him anything because he's an employee. He works for them. But then again, the guy's an all-time great. When you have an all-time great at quarterback, I mean, look at what other teams do to keep their quarterbacks in check. The Packers have butchered a lot with Aaron Rodgers, too. Aaron Rodgers asked, can we re-sign Jared Cook? Are you really that cheap you can't re-sign Jared Cook? What does he cost? $1 million? I mean, come on. You gotta re-sign Jared Cook. If Aaron Rodgers asked you to re-sign... I mean, if he was asking you to re-sign, I understand Jordy Nelson. Jordy Nelson was asking for a lot. And Rodgers is not mad about that. But you can't re-sign Jared Cook. You can't tell Aaron Rodgers that you're gonna fire his quarterback coach. You can't tell... why did the music stop? I don't know. Did you really have to cut Jake Kumerow 2 days after he praised him? You didn't have to re-sign him, but did you really have to cut him? 2 days after he praised him? Could have waited a bit. And I know I'm kind of nitpicking there, but I mean... Did they really have to do that? That quickly after he praised him? Anyway, but, and you couldn't tell him that you were considering drafting a quarter, that you were considering, I cannot speak today, that you were considering drafting another quarterback. They butchered some things with him too, so... I think they're both at fault in some way, but, if you put yourself in both of their shoes, it's tough for both of them. Both Rodgers and Gutekunst. And finally, James Harden's injury over the weekends wasn't an impact towards the Nets winning against the Bucks. If they don't have James Harden, I don't think they're winning the series. I think they're losing in 7. But they are capable of winning without Harden. They just showed it today. And it really sucks. Harden has changed his game. He's more of a ball distributor now. And that may have worked in the playoffs. So I wish I got to see him. I wish I got to see him in the playoffs, see if he actually redeemed himself from all the times he's failed. But, I still can. We don't know how serious this thing is, so we'll see. Alright, so the Mavs lost in 7. And like I said, they gotta get it too. Even if they did beat the Clippers, they weren't gonna make a run, because you can't do it by yourself, and Porzingis currently is a 3. He's not a 2. He's a 3. And you're not going to win it. And this is why I think Luka is so much... Luka, I was saying he's not a lot like LeBron when he was younger. I was saying there is no other LeBron. But, and there isn't, because he has to pick up his defense. Because when LeBron was younger, like I said, he was a great defender. I know the last 5 years he hasn't played much defense, but he was good when he was younger. Luka, the same cannot be said for Luka. So there is a difference there. But their career paths have been very similar. They're making the playoffs early in their career. People know how great they are early in their career. But the problem is, the reason they're not winning in the playoffs, despite putting their heart and soul into it, look at Luka's stats. He averaged 40 minutes a game, 35 points, 41% from 3, 10 assists. He was playing his heart out. And that game 7, you want to see some of his stats in the losses? This is what LeBron would do. So, so the first game they won. He had a triple-double, 31, 10, and 11. The second game, he again had 39, 7, and 7. And they won. Third game, they lost. But Luka had 44, 9, and 9. On the fourth game, they lost again.